All right, let's give me a video on replacing the serpentine belt on a 1989 Ford LTD Crown Victoria with the 5.0. So I think somebody's replaced the front belt recently. You can see here, this one looks like it's in good shape, but this back belt, I don't know if I can capture it yet, but once I take it off, you'll be able to see it really good, that it's all checkered and stuff on the back. So need to replace this back one. So I have to take off the front belt first and then take it to the back. And so I'll show basically how I do all that, because I can't find a video online. So one thing I have read online though is that the front belt, the way that you apply tension on the belt and get it tight is by adjusting the alternator. I'm assuming it's this bolt right here. It slides in and out to move the alternator in and out to put tension on this belt. So that's kind of new for me. I've never seen that before. But the back belt should have a tensioner. So I think first thing I'm gonna do is loosen this bolt. Somebody said use a pry bar to, whenever you're tensioning it, use a pry bar to pull back on the alternator, put this bolt in to tension the belt. So maybe I'll get a pry bar. I guess I don't need it. I'll just loosen this and let it slowly kind of loosen itself. Okay, so I'm using a 14mm socket to loosen this bolt first. Okay, and so yeah, as soon as it loosened, I can see that it's, you know, the belt's basically pulling the alternator towards the passenger side. Okay, so that's loose. Yep, so just push that over. And it's about bottomed out as far as it'll go. So hopefully I can slide this belt off. All right, so I took this bolt out also, same 9/16 socket. And I was able to kind of push this bracket out of the way back here and then get the alternator slide just a little bit more, kind of bottom it out, and then I could get the belt out. So that wasn't too bad. Just be careful you don't pinch your finger when you're doing that, like I almost did. Now I'm going to come over here to the tensioner, which is this pulley down there. It looks like there's a, let's see if I can get it with the, yeah, there it is. There's a little spot right there where you can put a, what is it, 1/2 inch breaker bar. And I'm assuming I put breaker bar in there and pull on it, and that will pull the tensioner pulley up that way, and then I can get the belt off. So I'm gonna try to do that next. Okay, so I can't find my breaker bar, so I don't know how I'm gonna get to that hole, but I was looking online, and also I realized that there is a adjustment bolt behind here. So I'm going to, after this snippet, show a picture of the 3 bolts. You've got a pivot bolt up under here, an adjustment bolt. It's like behind the pulley, coming in from the bracket behind the pulley. So you have to get, somehow I'm gonna have to get a wrench back behind here. I'm touching it right now. Loosen that first. That's gonna allow the tensioner to move, and then I gotta take tension off by using a breaker bar in here, which I can't find my breaker bar, so I'll figure that out later. But first thing I'm gonna do is loosen that bolt from behind to even allow that to move around. So let me get a wrench or socket and find out what size this is. It's the same size as the alternator bolts, 9/16 I believe. And you can get a socket on it. So I got it loosened now, so I'm just gonna do it by hand the rest of the way. All right, so yeah, I got that. This is like a week and a half after the last time I worked on this, but I got that back bolt out. And then what I did is I put my breaker bar I found a breaker bar. And this little slot right here, pointing downward, you see it's hanging down there. And then I had to go underneath the car and grab it and pull it that way towards the driver's side, and it just went loose. So it's loose now. It really wasn't that hard. I'm surprised. I didn't realize that this doesn't have a spring on it. So once you pull on it, it just loosens it up and the belt just pops right off. So it doesn't spring back. So that's pretty easy. I hadn't been working on this because I thought this was going to be a pain. But yeah, so just put your breaker bar on it, let it hang down, and then grab it from underneath and pull it towards the driver's side counterclockwise, and it'll just slide this tensioner pulley up. And then you can take the belt off. Easy peasy. All right, so I can't figure out how to get this belt off because if you look between these two pulleys, that top pulley there for the water pump and the crank one underneath it, they're so close together, I can't slip the pulley out between them. I also found out that my front belt looks pretty bad. So I'm gonna replace it also. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the cooling fan. It's got these 4 bolts here. So we'll get a wrench, take off the cooling fan, and hopefully I can get that pulley off maybe, and then I can get these belts off. Okay, so I got this out without taking the fan off. Wish I would have. I wasn't recording because I didn't think it was going to work. But basically, I got it to the point where you can see I'm on the passenger side, and I started pulling on the passenger side. I got, this is a pulley right here. I basically butted up the belt up against the 2 pulleys. Got on this side and started pulling from the front until I got it wedged in between the 2 pulleys, which is the those 2 down there. I guess the crank and whatever in front. I guess it's 2 crank pulleys, and then the water pump pulley. So in between there, in the middle there, it was right there, and I got the belt basically wedged in between those like this, facing forward and backwards to the car, and pulled on the front of it until I got it wedged in, and then I turned the water pump pulley and it kind of sucked it in a little bit, and then I could pull it out all the way. So it is possible to get the back pulley off, or the back belt off, without taking off any pulleys. And the front one, I just basically wrapped it around the fan, just went around the fan, and it came out. So got them out. Let's see if I can get them in. Okay, so here's a belt I got for the rear belt, the one that goes around the smog pump, and I guess AC. Looks like it's pretty close in size. It's kind of hard to tell because the new one was all kinked up because it was in the packaging. But I'm putting them inside of each other and they seem pretty close. I will say the new belt feels a lot lighter than the old belt, so I don't know if that's just a quality of stuff nowadays. But anyway, so I'll try to put that on the rear. Was not planning to change the front until I saw it, so I need to go buy a front, and I'll tell you what part number they give me for that. The new one went on a little too easy in my opinion. It slid right through there very easily, where I had to fight the old one off. But anyways, it's on, so let me readjust the tensioner, get it back in place so I can put the bolt in the back, and we'll see if it's tight or not. All right, so I was actually able to tighten this up. I was able to get my breaker bar in from the top here, right there, and just actually move this water hose out the way like that, and pushed up on it clockwise, and was able to get it taut. So I think it's tight enough. I started the bolt that goes in the back, again behind the pulley. Let me see if I can show it to you or not. That's not it. Let's see if I can get a picture of it. Hold on. All right, I was able to get a picture of it, but let me see if you can see it in the video or not. Should be able to see that bolt that's just barely started. See, it kind of goes into the slot. I think it goes directly into the pulley. And so I just got it just barely started, so I need to clamp down on that and tighten it up. And then tighten up the pulley bolt, which is the one pivot bolt. It's right here. And then I think that is it for this belt. All right, got those snugged up. So it's a 14 millimeter for the back and a 15 for the pivot. All right, now I'm gonna run to the store and see if I can't find the belt for the front. All right, so I got the front belt on. Again, I just went around the fan, kind of blade by blade, and got around all the pulleys. And then put my breaker bar right here, kind of against, make sure you don't get any wires or anything, but against the water pump and the alternator. Push that up. Looks like it's got to go a little bit further. Hey, so I just need to pry that up a little bit further somehow. Find somewhere to pry it and get back to the original spot. You can see the nut used to sit there. So after that, I'll tighten this down, add this bolt back in, and I'll be good to start it up. I'm using the head of this ratchet, put up against the body of the alternator, in between the alternator and my pry bar, so I can get a little more leverage without hitting this top bar up here. I'm just putting it down here and prying against the ratchet. So I'm gonna hold that up and tighten it down. Can't do that while I'm recording, so you just have to trust me. I'm just gonna put this bolt in now. These are both 14 millimeter. And after that, I will be completely done and ready to start her up. All right, there we go. My belt squeal is gone. So, very happy. Hopefully that was helpful. If you got any questions, just drop a comment. I'm pretty good at responding. So, thanks for watching.